Okay, so we'll continue working here on the top, and the next thing we'll do is one of the more complex parts. It's going to be these things on the side here. These kind of clip over this part when you open the top up. Originally on my test model, I just intersected some cylinders and kind of shaped it out. I didn't actually model it out of this part. For the tutorial, I will show you how to do that, just because this is a really complex kind of thing to do, where you have a cylinder shape coming out of another cylinder or something like that. So let's go over the process of how to do this. Okay, for starters, we're not going to use a cylinder, we're actually going to use a plane to create this. So let's grab this piece here. We also need the top, and let's grab that inside piece there, and we'll hide maybe everything else. Let's also get this piece here, hide everything else. Okay, so we just set this in here. I just need to see where these pieces are so we can kind of figure out the size. Okay, so what we're going to do here is create a piece that goes kind of in this area on the side of this part. Alright, so let's go over to plane, and we'll just draw this out and kind of shape out the sides. We want this to come up to pretty much the top here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this down. Maybe like that for now. And don't worry too much about the size. We can just take off these segments and adjust it the rest of the way by vertex. So I'm just going to convert it to editable poly. And we'll grab the verts here. Let's move them up to the top. And let's grab these ones here. And we're going to move them back and line them up with that edge there where we cut it out. Okay, the back edge of this piece, the blue piece. Alright, so the back edge there. And let's see. We'll see how far we need to make this come down. That might be okay on length for now. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it down to around this edge here. And let's go over to edge. We'll add a couple more segments here. So I'm just going to do a connect. I'm going to move this edge up a bit. Okay, and then we'll grab this edge here and extrude this back. And we're going to take it back right to this corner here of that top part. Okay, we could probably bring the top down a little bit. We don't need it to be that high, so let's grab these. Let's bring it down a bit. And let's maybe bring this down just a little bit more. Okay, this piece is essentially going to fit kind of around the other piece that we have in there. Okay, so I think that's probably about the right size. Might be a little bit big. I'm just going to bring it back a little bit from the front. Okay, and then let's also maybe just go into border here for a second, grab the outer border and shift drag it in on the X, just so we can see how it's intersecting the other piece. Okay, we want to make sure we don't bring it out too far, else it's going to be sticking through this top piece. I'm just going to nudge it out a bit. Turn off border first, we'll just pull it out a bit. Okay, so let's maybe grab this piece now, hide everything else, and we'll continue to shape this out. First things we're going to do is just round over some of these edges. Okay, so let's grab this one here, and we'll just take another look at our reference. It's a little hard to see here. You can see it's pretty much rounded completely over, and it kind of goes up and then rounds over out the back. Alright, so we'll go back in here, and with that edge selected, I'm just going to do a chamfer. We'll take this up quite a bit here, and we'll add a couple of extra segments. Okay, we might not need to go that wide. Let's take it down just a bit. Okay, we'll do around 30 maybe. Okay, we'll leave that maybe at 4 segments for now. Let's take it down just a little bit more. Just a bit. Okay, we'll leave that at 4, so let's hit OK to that one. We'll go around the back here, and let's grab this edge. And we'll chamfer this over just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take the segments down to maybe 1, and we'll roll that back down. Let's maybe do 2 segments. and just give it a little bit of height there. Maybe something like that. Okay, and we'll grab this one over here and do the same thing. So chamfer, let's take this one up a bit more. Add a couple of extra segments there. Okay, we'll widen this out a little bit. Okay, maybe something like that. And finally this edge here, chamfer that one, take this down a bit. And we'll take the segments down just a little bit on this one. Maybe something like that. A little bit tighter. Okay, so that's pretty much the shape we're looking for. Next thing we're going to do is go into polygon, go into the top view, grab all the polys that we extruded out there and delete them. And we'll just clean this up quickly. Alright, so back in the side view, back into vertex, and back to target weld. We're just going to collapse these down like we did before. Okay, so I'm just going to weld these over, weld these ones down. Okay, we'll just work our way down until we can attach it to the outside here. Okay, like that. And we'll also straighten out this vert here. And let's do this one as well. Okay, now we'll just connect up some verts here so that we can get some quads in here. So let's go back to our handy old cut tool and we'll just connect some of these up. Alright, so we're going to connect this one here over to this one. We'll connect this one here over to the edge, maybe like there. Let's do this one here all the way to the back, and we'll just kind of straighten that out. And we'll cut this bottom one here up to the top. And over here we'll do a similar thing, we'll just cut some of these up to the top. Okay, just like that. Okay, we could cut these over to quad this corner up. I'm not going to do that, and the other reason for that is because we're going to need to add a lot more edges over here on the actual piece to connect it if we have more verts going across. So let's just leave it like this for now. We only need to put them where we need them for curves, if that makes any sense. Okay, so let's go into polygon here. I'm going to grab all the polys and we're going to do an inset. Okay, we'll bring that up a little bit more. Maybe something like that. We don't want it to be too sharp. Okay, and we also don't want to have the edges flowing like this at the top. So what we're going to do here is the same thing we did earlier and just cut these up to the top. Okay, so let's cut that up like that. This one over to the back. Same thing over on this side. This guy up to the top. And that one over to the left. Okay, now we can turn off cut there, go to edge, grab this edge and this one, and remove them. Okay, and then back to border, grab the border, and we'll re-extrude it out. Okay, we're going to go right into the body of the other piece, like so. Okay, and I'm just going to turn off the turbo smooth on this piece for a second. Okay, so now we need to figure out how we're going to connect these two together. It's going to be a little challenging to get it to work, but we'll get there. Let's also change the color on this piece. And we'll throw maybe the blue share on that as well. Okay, so let's start plotting out how we're going to do this. And the first thing we need to do is match up the height of both these objects. Okay, so we're going to grab the verts here at the top and pull it up until it matches, like that. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is grab this piece and let's cut it. So we'll drop down to edit poly, go to cut, back up to snaps, and we're just going to do a similar thing we've been doing with circles, and we're going to trace around this so we can cut the outline of this into the body of the other piece. Okay, let me just make sure we have vertex checked. Okay, so we're going to start up here at the top, and we'll just work our way down, clicking on each vert. Okay, you need a couple of weird edges, but don't worry about that, we'll clean that up later. So let's go right to the back here. And I'm just going to right click and end that right there. Let's maybe adjust this piece, and I also want to make sure that we cut this in half. We don't want to be making cuts through onto this side over here, so let's split this in half. I'm just going to turn off my vertex snaps there, go back to polygon, everything on the left side of center and delete it. Okay. And then we'll just figure out the back here. Okay, so let's cut this across from this vert here, right to the back edge. Okay. Okay, we also make sure that continues up to the top there, and it looks like it snapped over to that vert, so let's cut that. Okay. And now we can go to polygon, and we'll delete these polygons inside that cut. Okay, so the ones right inside there, delete those off. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is figure out how we're going to slice this so we can attach these together. Okay, let's grab that piece there. Gotta pull it back so it's a little bit closer. Okay, I'm just gonna take out this top edge for now, this one here, by looping it and control backspacing it out. Okay, we also really don't need to have any top polygons on here, so let's delete those off. Okay, so let's grab the top polygons there, make sure we deselect that guy, and delete those. Okay, I'm also going to get rid of this edge and this extra vert here on this piece. Okay, so let's grab that, drop back down to edge, remove that edge, and then remove the extra vert right there. Okay, and we'll go down and see if we have any extras. We have a couple here, that's fine. This edge we can get rid of. Okay, so we'll remove that guy and the extra vert. Okay, so now let's add a couple of edges here. Let's grab this edge, do a ring, and a connect. I'm going to slide this up and line it up with the edge here. Okay, we need a place so that we can connect these across. So let's do this in left view so we can get it on or the right height, and that looks pretty good, so we'll hit OK to that. Do another ring here, connect, slide that up to the next edge, like so, and we'll just repeat this process for the next couple. Okay, let's do one more here. Okay, maybe like that. We don't want to continue these ones over. We're going to go down with that guy there. Okay, so let's add a couple of edges here as well. Alright, so we'll grab this guy, ring it. Okay, I want to make sure that we connect it up to that vert that we already have there. So let's do a connect on this. Let's slide it over. Okay, and we're just going to hit OK to that. I'm going to make planar on Y. Just move that over so it lines up with this edge coming down. Okay, and whoops, let's undo that. we didn't have our edge constraint on, and actually it really doesn't need to be made planar, we can actually leave it angled. Alright, so I'm just going to move it over a little bit this way. Okay, just like that, sorry about that. Okay, let's connect that one up to there. And let's just hold off on these other two for now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is go over to this piece, and we'll attempt to fit this together, and the easiest way for us to probably do that is to snap it. Okay, so we'll go back up into our snaps, make sure we have vertex selected, go into vertex, let's grab this vert here, turn our snaps on, we're going to pull this back until it snaps to this vert here. Okay, so just like that. Now those verts are going to be right on top of each other, so we're just going to do this all the way around. Okay, and I don't believe we have a vert for that point there, so let's skip that one. This one, snap it back to here. Okay, we're just going to work our way underneath. Okay, it's a little weird, I know, looking at it, but just keep, you know, rotating around so you can see what's in alignment. You don't want to snap the wrong ones. Okay, so we'll snap that one over to there. And now this one needs to go to this vertex here. Okay, like that. Okay, and for the back there, we're going to need to do a little bit more work back there first. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. Okay, and we want to make sure that we have a vert for this guy. Alright, so I'm just going to grab the piece there. Let's turn off snaps. We grab that, and we'll just manually maybe cut it from this vert. Actually, we do have a vert there, so let's just connect these two right now so we can see it. Okay, then we'll go back, turn our snaps on, go back to the other piece there, and just snap that vert back to this vert. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now what we can do is connect those other pairs up. So let's turn off snaps, reselect this piece, back into vertex, and we'll just grab each pair and do a connect. Okay. Okay, and for this guy here, I'm just going to connect this one down to that edge we put in there. And for this one, I'm just wondering if we should move this edge over. Alright, let's just maybe target weld this vert over to this one. Okay, so far so good. Let's also remove this extra edge here we don't need. Let's move that guy. And for the back here, okay, let's maybe reselect this piece here. Okay, we're going to need to modify this quite a bit, so let's go into the top view. Okay, we're going to grab these verts here on the inside, and we'll pull these back. Okay, I'm just going to line it up with the back corner there. Right down here. Okay, we're just going to need to pull these ones here back a little bit. Okay, just like that. Okay, we still need to have an extra edge here so we can do something with this vert. So let's grab these edges here. And we'll grab that back one as well. Just going to do a connect on that. Slide it over a little bit, line it up. Okay, and then we'll snap that vert to the other one there. So let's go back into vertex, back to snaps, grab this guy, and just snap that back. Like that. Okay, and if we need to later on, we can extrude this out a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. The next thing we're going to do is attach these together. So let's delete that turbo smooth. Make sure we don't have it on either object. Okay, and then we'll attach these together. Okay, let's go over to polygon here, and let's grab the polys around this piece. Okay, and what we want to do here is just inset it. So we have a support edge. Okay, we want that to be, you know, somewhat tight, maybe like that. Okay, now we need to get rid of this extra edge here, so let's just target weld it back. We can probably do this in the left view. Okay, let's go over to target weld here. And I'm just going to weld this vert up to the top, like that. And we'll just work our way around here, welding this over to the side. Okay, if you want to, you can loop the edges and take them out, but it's probably just as quick. Okay, so let's collapse this down. You could also collapse the edges if you want to. Okay, so we'll weld that over there. Okay, now what we need to do is continue this loop to the back and up to the top, up here. Okay, so let's go over here, turn off target weld, go back to cut, and cut this vert right here to the back. And then we can turn off cut and take out this edge. Okay, that one there. So we'll just control backspace that one. Whoops. Let's just remove it and get the extra vert up here. Okay, and the reason why I did that is because these verts here aren't welded yet, so we want to make sure we don't take out any that we still need. Okay, so same thing up at the top. Back into the side view. And we'll just cut this up to here. Okay, and then we can take out that edge. So this one and this one, remove them. And then remove the vert. Okay. And now we just need to weld the verts that we snapped together up, so we only have one vert instead of two. Okay, so I'm just going to do this manually. I'm going to grab these two verts at the top here. Alright. And they're going to be pretty close to each other, or if not, right on top of each other, so we'll just weld them. Okay, so I'm just going to open up weld there, crank up the amount until they snap together, and we'll just keep moving down. Okay, it might be easier to go in wireframe and do this. Alright, so just grab each pair and weld them all the way around this thing. And finally those two there. Okay, so now we have these two things joined together. We're not quite done yet. Let's go back to edge, and we'll bring an edge around this piece. Okay, and we'll add another supporting edge here. So let's do a connect. Let's do one angle, we'll slide that over. Okay, something like that looks good, and we're gonna have to manually adjust it a little bit. Okay, so back to vertex, turn on your edge constraint. We'll just slightly move these verts apart at the top there, just to space this edge a little bit more. Okay, and we'll just check out the bottom here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it too much, I'm just going to do it up to that point, maybe slightly move that out a little bit more. Okay, so let's see if this is working at all. Let's put our turbo smooth on, 2 iterations, nice line. And there we go. We have both pieces fit together pretty nicely as one mesh. Okay, and I think that's the shape we want. And I don't see any artifacts, which is good. Okay, so now let's drop back down onto the edit poly here, add another symmetry modifier on the X, and just make sure they're touching up, and then we'll right click on the symmetry, collapse to, and just have the turbo smooth on top there. Okay, there we go. So let's unhide all, and we'll see how this looks inside this piece. Let's also recenter the pivot. And we're looking pretty good. Okay, and you can see this edge looks a little soft here, and the reason for that is we actually forgot to put an extra loop in here. Alright, so I'm going to select this piece, hide everything else for a second. Let's turn off the turbo smooth, drop back down to edge, and we want to add an edge right around the outside here just to maintain the hardness of this edge. So let's ring this, go back into the top view, let's connect it up with one segment, and then we'll just make planar on X, and we'll just pull this over to the side. Okay, like that. Let's do the same thing over on the left side. Grab an edge here, ring, connect, make planar, and just push that out to the side. Okay, you want this to have the same hardness on each side, so try to get those edges evenly spaced. You can just eyeball it. Okay, I don't think we really need to extend the back even any further. We could just pull this out a little bit to kind of finish it off right there, but I think we're fine. Okay, so let's turn this back on. We'll see if that looks a little better. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here. Let's unhide all. And we just want to also make sure that this isn't sticking through the top. On the actual machine, this is cut out here so that this piece can kind of fit up in the inside. And I didn't do that on my original test run. We might do it later on, depending on how long the rest of the model takes us for us to do. But I think for now we're just going to leave it. Okay, so I think this will conclude part 3. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you'll come back and check out part 4. We still have quite a bit of work to do. There's going to be a couple more modeling parts at least before we get into doing rendering and materials and texturing. So yeah, hopefully you come back, and if you're watching this on another site, say YouTube, definitely come over to CD Tuts and check us out. We have a lot of great tutorials from other authors, and we have some very good authors in the pipeline that are going to be coming over the next few months. So I think it'll be exciting to see what content they're bringing to the site. But yeah, come and check us out sometime if you have a few minutes. We really appreciate it. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 4.